what's up you guys? Sentry Productions here, and welcome to the Watchtower series. If you're new here, this is just basically a deep dive into my toy photography. I take you through my setups, I show you how I pose my figures, how I light everything, all that good stuff. Starting off this episode with a little War Machine content right here. I think I pulled this from 282, around that issue number. Not exactly sure exactly when, but I think it's pretty cool. I've been sitting on these cutouts for a while. I remember seeing the inspiration for this, as you guys can see right here, and it's kind of set up exactly the same, but with like a couple different things sprinkled in, you know, from my style. Threw a cutout in the back here. This is pretty cool, kind of adds just an extra element to the shot. It was looking a little too bare with just the white background. And obviously I use the white background as well. I don't really use white all that often, so when I do, it's always kind of fun. I do like that infinite kind of white look in shots. Typically in a situation like this I would be using a cloud background, but with the cutouts, I think it just makes it kind of easier to see them with just the one color background. And I think the city stuff being on the bottom of the shot, even though it is kind of almost at the tip of this cutout right here, I think it's still very easy to distinguish between the two of them. Yeah, we got this other big cutout right here that's got you know, basically him putting the suit on. Really cool. I just think this was kind of cool. I kind of even overlapped the Gatling gun over the front of the panel, because in this actual panel, if you guys saw earlier, he's kind of stepping outside of the frame of the panel, so I kind of was able to just kind of make that slight little detail in there to kind of do a little bit of an homage to it, I guess, at least the best way I could think of without kind of changing everything around. But yeah, this is War Machine. Love this War Machine, Marvel Legends War Machine, the deluxe set. I think this was a Target exclusive, correct me if I'm wrong. This has always been my favorite War Machine. I think this is one of the best Marvel Legends they've ever made. This is definitely, I think, top 10 for me across the entire line. So I've shot this figure a couple times before, but this is by far my favorite little shot I've put together. Very reminiscent of those old Iron Man comics. I mean, dude, they're just some of my favorite art across the board is in those Iron Man comics with like Mark Bright, all those other guys. So really cool to kind of be able to recreate something kind of pulled almost directly from those books with a little my own spin on it, you know. So yeah, not really much more to show you guys. I got the background covered. We got lots of different lights hitting from all areas. I got a couple panel right here, the one up top in the middle right here, that one's to light the background. This one that's to the left right there is for pointing at the cutouts and the figure. We got all these ones hitting it right here, and just giving Iron Man a little bit more light, background more light, just making sure everything is evenly lit for this shot. So yeah, let's check it out. Alright, so I don't know why this popped into my head or why I pulled out Ghost Rider. I guess, I don't know. Something must have triggered some subconscious thought of Ghost Rider. So I pulled out the old Marvel Legends Rhino Build-A-Figure Ghost Rider here. This was the first Ghost Rider that we got from Hasbro after they took over from Toy Biz on one of the more modern books. They had given us a couple. I think they gave us a Danny Ketch Ghost Rider at some point, and there was a variant to that. But that was very early in the return of Marvel Legends, around 2012. This one came out around 2016, I think. Might have been a little bit before, might have been a little bit after. Not 100% sure, but it's using the Star-Lord buck, which I've always really liked. I mean, it's a little outdated now. It's got pins basically over the whole figure, but this always was a really neat Ghost Rider. I always really enjoyed this. They've given us a few different versions on this exact same buck with different color schemes over the years, given us like more of the first appearance Ghost Rider from Marvel Spotlight, like number 5, 6, 8. That was kind of had that blue kind of tint on it, and then they gave us a retro carded Ghost Rider not that long ago. I have no idea why I'm giving you guys the whole history of all the Ghost Rider figures they've given us. But basically, I guess that the reason why I'm saying all that is this is kind of like a kit bash Ghost Rider. 2016 Ghost Rider with the retro Ghost Rider head on it. I just always thought it looked the best out of all the heads that we've been given for Ghost Rider. Using the Punisher bike. If you read Marvel Spotlight 5, 6, his first, second, and third appearance, I think Marvel Spotlight number 7 or 8 is his third appearance. You notice that his bike doesn't really have the flaming tires and everything. He just has the flaming head for the most part for those first few issues. So I kind of like went back to the earlier Ghost Rider comics, was trying to gain some inspiration. I was just kind of posing this figure around, and I just came across this little pose right here. I thought it looked really cool, him peeking through the handlebars. I don't think he really rides a bike that has those raised handlebars, but I just thought this angle looked so cool. So that was kind of how the shot was constructed from the beginning, and then I just added more and more details and more lights. I knew I wanted it to be a dark shot, so I have a lot of lights here. We've got this little light right here that's pointed directly at his head. We gotta make sure that his head is nice and lit and really kind of capturing that essence that his head's on fire, you know? I also have a huge soft box right here. You guys can't really see it, but since I wanted to light this this figure and I knew the shot needed to be dark, I wanted to hit it with a lot of light so I could really lower my settings and get some of the cool kind of lighting effects from doing that in my camera. So a lot of light. It's kind of lit up like a ballpark right now, but I'm going to then use my camera to lower my settings so that I can get some cool effects out of the lights. Another thing I did is I hit it with these blue lights. Like I said, those first few issues of Ghost Rider, he has a very blue kind of tint to his character. I don't know if his suit is blue or if he's just always riding in the moonlight or whatever it may be. I knew I wanted to hit the figure with some blue, and I thought that might create a really cool composition with all the orange and the yellow from the burnout effect. And I was correct. I really do like this effect. So we got the blue hitting them right here. We've got some Ulanzis back here with, let me see if I can focus back here so you guys can see. Some Ulanzis back here with some just polyester pillow stuffing. Got the lights behind it. It's kind of creating like this, maybe like he's burning out kind of effect. I would want people to understand though that he is stationary on the middle of this road. By the way, this road is just an 11 by 17 piece of paper of just a road. And I kind of got him smack dab right in the middle. The framing's going to be very tight, so you won't see all that stuff on the sides. But yeah, got the blue hitting, got the yellow and the orange. Kind of creates this kind of moody, kind of cool lighting for this shot. And this all just came from me just posing this figure around on this bike. And then it came to I kept adding more and more stuff. So yeah, this is my little Ghost Rider shot. I really like this. I think this is really cool. So let's check it out. Alright, so I was, just kind of playing around with the Sentry figure, and I was just, kind of admiring it. I've always really liked this figure. It does have a lot of problems, but I was just really, infatuated with the hair sculpting right here. I know this was kind of a drawback for a lot of people, but I always thought it was kind of a cool sculpt. And I remember looking through some Sentry pictures, and I remember this, one picture. I'll show it to you guys right here. I put a call out on my Instagram and my Facebook. I was like, does anyone know who the artist or what comic this image is from? And I couldn't get an answer back. So if anybody in the comments here can actually let me know, that would be awesome. But I was looking at this picture and I was like, holy shit, this is the reference picture for this sculpt. It has to be. I was looking at the hair, kind of matching them up. And I was like, holy shit, this is where they got the idea for his hair in this position. This is the reference image. It has to be. And when you look up Sentry the character, Google Images, I do that a lot for a lot of references. I noticed that this particular picture popped up quite a lot. So I wanted to kind of emulate it the best I could, just so I could have that picture and actually look at it and be like, oh yeah, that's where they got the actual like referenced hair from. So put a bunch of smoke cutouts back here. They'll have a little 1/12 scale crate kind of tacked to the back there. Just kind of have them layered in the shot, and then I just threw in a shitload of yellow lights. I mean, I have so many lights on this thing right now. Got the garage kit, got this light up here, got that light up there, got all these lights on the ground here, more lights over here. Kind of got his cape floating up right there. And then I didn't like how empty this part of the shot was. Like, I thought it looked a little too white, so I have this other smoke cutout right here that I'm just holding right here, and I have my camera on a timer, and then that way it kind of fills up all the space. Our framing is going to be more portrait oriented, so kind of like this. I just thought it looked really cool, and I kind of like I almost put too much light in there. I really wanted that feeling like the sun is just beaming down on this side and it gets darker on this side, kind of like to emulate, you know, the darkness within Sentry. You know, it's a main you know, character trait of him. You know, he has the void. I have this void sitting around. Gotta shoot some cool shit with it, so we're gonna get to that here in a little bit. But yeah, I just really wanted this this figure to shine, you know. So it's like almost too much light. The problem I have with this figure, man, is like one leg is longer than the other. So it gives him like this weird, like you have to kind of level out the figure. He's kind of hard to pose. And of course, I wasn't helping my situation by putting the entire cape on his right side. So now it's making him lean even more into the bad foot, the bad leg. But yeah, really cool shot. I wanted to show you guys this. I thought it was pretty cool. So let's check it out and let me know if you think it looks like the reference image. I don't know. I think it's pretty close, but you know, of course, I had to put my own little spin on it. So. Alright, so I was browsing some Silver Surfer comics. I think it was from the first volume, and I came across this little panel. It's just a random panel. It's not even like really integral to the story or anything, but I don't know, it just kind of caught my eye. I figured it might be something I can do with the Silver Surfer figure, and I decided to give it a shot. So I kind of set this up. There's a couple layers to this shot. We got the surfer kneeling on his board facing the camera. Of course, the board is being supported by these two little lights on either side. These are the Ulanzi RGB color lights, but I'm just using them. I'm not using them as lights right now. I'm just using them as something to prop the board up onto. And then I got a little cutout back here of like just a landmass, like, you know, just like the edge of an island off in the distance. And then the main part I got is this blue plastic wrap that I ordered on Amazon. This stuff, I've used it quite a few times. You guys have probably noticed in some of my videos. And it just works really well as like the surface of water if you have it at the right angle. I thought it looked really cool here. Of course, the surfer is going to be the focal point of this shot, as you can see. And I got two lights on him. I've got this big panel light right here, and that's hitting him on his right side. And then I've got my Ulanzi garage kit that's hitting him from his left side. And this kind of cool effect is happening here. I think the light's bouncing off the water here, and it's kind of giving him some hints of blue. And I think it looks really cool. This is the original Walgreens exclusive Marvel Legends Silver Surfer. I would say out of this one and the one that came with the HasLab Galactus, this is probably my favorite Silver Surfer. I actually have shot this before. I think this is the second time I've shot this. I just think it's a little bit better than the HasLab version. I like the head a little bit more. It reminds me more of like Silver Surfer from the comics. That I'm not taking anything away from the HasLab version. I think that version's great as well, but this one's a tad bit shinier than that one. Really chromed out. Over the years I've had this figure, it's still held up, and it's none of the paint's like fading away or like flaking off or any of that stuff. I think it still looks great. So there was a couple challenges with this shot. The first thing was to get him situated on this board. As you could see, I have his legs in some weird positions here. I couldn't just get him kneeling on the board. I kind of had to hide that back foot because, as you can tell, there's nowhere for his leg to rest on behind the surfboard. So I kind of had to angle it up, hide it so that you couldn't see it in the shot. So I think that works pretty well. Another problem I was having with this shot is this little peg hole. Now, all the silver surfboards come with this peg hole, and I considered drilling it off, but I just think it's so integral to the figure and him being able to stand on it that I decided I didn't want to drill that off. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to edit that out. I don't typically edit anything out of my photos. I'm usually like 1000% tangible on most of my setups. As you can see, I got the cutouts back here, I've got the sky and everything. There's no green screens or anything on this channel. But in some cases, there's just things that you can't really do with certain quirks of a figure or their accessories other than edit them. Another instance would be like the bottom of these characters' feet. They all have peg holes. They all have writing on the bottom of their feet. There's not really anything you can do about that. I know some people in the past have shot the bottom of the feet and kind of edited out the letters and the peg holes and all that stuff. So I'm just going to do that, you know. This is my art. I can do whatever I want with it, and I think editing out a small little thing like that is not that big of a deal. But I just would like to be transparent and tell you guys about that. The rest of the shot, got the sky background, man. We got the water looking good. The lighting's awesome. That's pretty much this whole little shot right here. Very quick shot setup, but I think it's really cool. It's you know, you got Surfer just kind of chilling by the water. You know, Silver Surfer doesn't always have to be in like an action shot, like coming at the camera or in space or any of that stuff. You can just have them in little serene type of poses like this. So I think it works out pretty well. So anyways, I'd like to thank you guys for checking out this episode of the Watchtower series. Of course, as always, leave me some feedback below of something you might have changed, or if you have any tips for me, or maybe some stuff you'd like to see from me in the future regarding setups or ideas, any of that stuff. I always love hearing from you guys. But in the meantime, this is Sentry Productions. Thanks for stopping by, and let's check out this shot.